elected as UEFA president is Monsieur Platini Michel.
In January 2007, Michel Platini was elected president of UEFA. So one of the greatest players the world has ever seen is now one of its most powerful figures. And Platini still has a great feeling for the game.
Football, well, it's pleasure, passion, joy, education, combat, and that's it.
A simple vision from a man whose life in football has been nothing short of spectacular.
This is a man whose life has been like a novel.
Platini made the difference. He was extremely important because he ran the team. He's been the leader for French football, the boss.
Michel could play with his eyes shut. I've never seen a player with such vision, a panoramic vision of the pitch.
He had a mental influence, a psychological influence. He conducted the orchestra.
He had an extraordinary life and succeeded in everything he did, as a footballer, as an organiser, and everything he's done has been his own choice.
Michel Platini was born on the 21st of June 1955 in Juif, in the northeast of France. There was nothing too spectacular about this industrial corner of France, and the young Michel had a normal Catholic upbringing. Michel, though, did love football and was very well placed to soak up the region's passion for the game.
I was born into an Italian family with French nationality, and the family ran a cafe, so I learned the culture of football very early because that was the centre of conversation for all the guys who worked in the factories and the mines in that corner of France.
As a teenager, Michel Platini started to show remarkable talent. His father, Aldo, had been a professional player himself and helped his son realise his gift. But there was a bitter blow and Michel was sent home from a trial with the local club Metz, who thought he had a weak heart. But Metz's loss quickly became AS Nancy's gain as they moved fast to sign up a youngster of great promise.
He was 16 years old when I met him, and I remember playing for the regional team Lorraine against Belgium, and he scored 6 goals in a 6-0 victory. He already had that quality. He didn't quite have the physique, but he had that genius.
I saw him start, when he was 17 years old in Nancy, and very quickly you could see that this guy was exceptional.
He saw the game very quickly, and his great quality was that he could act on what he saw, and he was always the leader of our group.
Of the 98 goals he scored for Nancy, the most important came at the Parc des Princes in the French Cup final against Nice.
I got the goal around the 60th minute mark. It was a pass from Rio to myself, and I controlled it with my left foot and stuck it in the corner. It was Nancy's first trophy, and mine too. That was in 1978.
It was the only time Nancy had won the French Cup in their history. He scored the goal and we won 1-0.
It was with Nancy that Platini developed a devastating aspect of his game, the free kick, and it was Jean-Michel Moutier who had the task of keeping goal.
We did it 2 or 3 times a week after training when the weather was good. And we had these free kick competitions. And the president saw us, so he brought us the first mannequins. And we would do that for half an hour, maybe an hour. We would play double or quits. It was just a game we played.
Platini became one of the great masters of free kicks, Monsieur Coup franc, as they called him in France, a deadly quality that stayed with him throughout his career. It wasn't long before Michel was given the chance with the French team, and the 20-year-old, with his confidence and accuracy from set pieces, made an immediate impression.
There was a free kick, and Henri Michel was there next to him, who always took the free kicks. And Michel said to him, "Move over, Henri, I'll take this one." He took the decision to take it, he shot it, and he scored. So I think the defining moment of Michel Platini's career was that moment when he came up to an experienced player, asked him to step aside, took the responsibility, took the shot, and scored.
They were innocent days for Michel at Nancy, and perhaps the happiest of his career. There he met his wife Christelle, and they were married in 1978. But the time came when Nancy's star had to move on, and naturally, he was bought by France's top club, Saint-Étienne.
At Nancy, the feeling was that we wanted to keep him. He was a footballing god who'd happened to play at Nancy. The history of the club comes down to him and what he did.
It was a natural progression, because Saint-Étienne were the best club in France at that time.
Michel was the best player in France, leaving for the biggest club in France. In his first season he did well, and there was a good team with Johnny Rep, a really good team.
By the time Platini arrived at Saint-Étienne, Les Verts were a fading force in European football. Nevertheless, he managed to build on his achievements, scoring 58 times in 108 matches.
We were champions in my last year, and we played in 2 French Cup finals, but we lost them both at Parc des Princes. But they were great memories. It was a great town, with fanatical support, and had a great time there.
The World Cup of 1982 was played in Spain. Platini had established himself as the French captain, and his side had good prospects as they moved fairly smoothly through 2 group phases, clinching a place in the semi-finals with a 4-1 win over Northern Ireland. Suddenly, France had a World Cup final in their sights, and their main chance of getting there would be via a talented midfield quartet led by Platini.
For me, that midfield of 1982 was the best that France has ever seen, with Michel Platini, Alain Giresse, Jean Tigana and Bernard Gengini. They called us the Little Brazil, the Brazilians of Europe. We all kept it simple, we played the ball and worked together.
Then the semi-final against West Germany, the match that Platini described as the most dramatic he'd ever played in.
I remember that semi-final of '82. It was massive because we were put through every possible emotion. Fear and joy before actually playing in a semi-final. Disappointment when the Germans scored. Hoping to equalise. The will to win.
That semi-final will always be remembered for a challenge by the German goalkeeper Harald Schumacher, which left Patrick Battiston with a broken jaw.
And the aggression towards Battiston, the bad feeling. That the referee didn't whistle when he should have, didn't send Schumacher off when he should have, and in the end we lost to a great injustice.
It was very emotional to see Patrick go off like that, and we didn't know exactly what had happened to him. But it didn't hit us that much because we were so involved in the match.
Extra time goals from Marius Trésor and Alain Giresse put France in an apparently unassailable position. Then West Germany hit back through Karl-Heinz Rummenigge and Klaus Fischer. Maxime Bossis missed a crucial penalty. And in the final act of an epic drama, Horst Hrubesch put the Germans into the final.
Afterwards in the dressing room we found out that he had gone to hospital, but we didn't know what the injury was. And then there was the disappointment of defeat.
In terms of a football match, I've never seen that kind of drama on the pitch, only in a film or in the theatre. It was a big moment. We lost, but it was still a big moment.
It was a period of reflection for French football. They'd come so close in that semi, so could France ever dream of winning a final one day? There would be new stars to come into the team, like Luis Fernandez.
1982 was a good World Cup that finished very badly. But we felt that that generation began to reach maturity, started to reap the rewards of experience, and began to impose itself. We started to believe in ourselves.
I think that from that moment on, we knew we were good, and that the French team that played against Germany could go on and do great things.
The 1982 World Cup was eventually won by Italy through a crucial goal from Marco Tardelli, one of the many stars that Platini was about to link up with at the Italian champions Juventus.